Today I have the honor to talk to Sergio, who is the Vice President of Solutions for Microsoft in Latin America. Sergio has been key in leading the transformational projects regarding AI and cloud technologies, and I'm happy to see you, Sergio, again and to discuss how transformation and technologies is evolving in terms of people and culture.
Hi, Bernie. Thanks for having me again, and looking forward to talk to you about how AI is really shaping our world and actually creating a big impact in the workplace.
Microsoft cultural transformation has been one of the most significant and widely corporate culture shifts in the recent years. How has leadership shaped this culture change?
Well, everything starts with leadership, right? So the leaders, they need to have the right vision. And something that is interesting about Microsoft is that we have been in business for 50 years. We started with the PC revolution, then the internet, then the mobile cloud, and now AI. So in order to be relevant, you need to evolve, you need to change. So change is something that Microsoft is really widespread. When Satya came aboard 10 years ago, something that he really pushed was in a change of mindset, and he started talking about something which is called growth mindset, that is based on Carol Dweck's book, which basically talks about that you have people, or some people might have what is called a fixed mindset, which is basically you assume that you have a fixed number of capabilities, and those are fixed from the moment that you were born till you die. And then you have what is called growth mindset, which is basically saying that you can learn everything. It's a matter of just learning and thinking and challenging yourself. So he's starting pushing that concept in our culture. So instead of just saying, hey, this is what we are, is that you need to push yourself, you need to think about new ways of thinking and doing things. Another concept which I believe is also relevant is leading by example. You have to have consistency, a cultural consistency, right? You cannot say that your values are this and you have the leaders acting like that. So consistency also is a key attribute of our culture. Another and a big important one has to be how you provide clarity. We are a large, sometimes complex company, so you leaders need to be able to set the course and actually provide a vision of how the future would look like. But then leaders need to be able to synthesize that and make the complex really simple, so everyone in the organization knows how they're part of that big scheme of things, on how they're adding value to that vision. And lastly, I think it's all about being customer obsessed. Sometimes in these large organizations, it's easy to forget that you have a customer, and it should be the center of every interaction. All of those things are something that I would say now is a big part of our cultural organization. And I would say this is what actually makes Microsoft kind of special.
Regarding culture, how has Microsoft fostered a culture of collaboration and innovation among employees?
If you want to innovate, you need to make a lot of experiments. And in order to make those experiments, you need to have a culture where failing is okay. You can try something and you can fail, you can be successful, but you can fail as well. So having this, let's say, safe environment where people can try new things, and sometimes those things are gonna go well, and sometimes it's not gonna go well. I think it's important. Innovation is everywhere. I mean, it's not that you have like a small group of geniuses that do all the innovation for the company. It's in the way of how you do business processes, how you interact with the customers, how you work with your partners, how you create new products. So it's everywhere. We don't have like a small group in charge of innovation. And lastly, I would say that collaboration, it plays a critical role into that. We really look forward to connecting people from different backgrounds, from different places, so they can create really innovative solutions. If you have a group full of engineers, they're all going to come up with the same solution because they're all engineers. If you have a group of psychologists, they're going to probably tend to think alike. But when you mix the groups is when you create really big things. So driving that collaboration, I think is important. And actually, we're into the collaboration business. You're users of Teams, so it's the way. It's probably one of the best ways of connecting people from different, places, background, countries, so they can work together in a seamless way and do some really innovative stuff.
Given the explosive expansion of OpenAI, how has culture changed in Microsoft and how has impacted the employees?
I would say this has been really a fun ride. 2 years ago to someone, hey, what do you think about generative AI? They would say like, what? I mean, no one would actually know the concept, or most of the people. And if you think about that 2 years ago, no one knew about that, or mostly. And now you see that Gen AI is embedded into each one of our products. I think it's really remarkable. The other side to that is that this really required a massive shift in agility within the company. Because you not have the typical development cycles that in the past used to take some years. Now this has been really in real time. You see a new model, a new technology, the customers are demanding for you to have that or those models into the product. So it has really been demanding a lot of innovation and also agility. Then you need to have a workforce who is really keeping up on the latest trends and actually tendencies in the industry, in this case in Gen AI, because at the end of the day, customers are going to be asking, right? If you launch this product or you have this new model, probably the day after that, the customer is going to be saying to you, hey, I really want to implement this within my company. So creating space for the employees to learn and actually to know more about that has been really critical. And lastly, I think it's about customer zero. And by customer zero, I mean that we are the first users of our technology. So we test the technology. We have been in a first-hand, doing prompting and seeing how that can change the way that you're working, which makes you more efficient. I think it's something that is really good because we're providing the benefits to employees, but also we're learning a lot about what use cases work, what use cases are not that important at this time. So this has been also really, I would say, really key part in our transformation, also adoption of AI within the company.
As Gen AI is advancing, it's reshaping industries and redefining job roles. How has Gen AI impacting the labor market?
Sometimes a lot of time people gets afraid when talking about Gen AI. And I think at the end of the day, Gen AI is really going to help the workplace. It's going to help in a way that's going to be, reducing the number of lower value added tasks that you're doing by summarizing information for you, which means that at the same time it's going to be reducing the cognitive load for you because it's capable of telling you these are the insights. This is the really relevant information within all the noise that we have, in our day-to-days. These are the important facts or insights that you can. And I think it's important to realize that you're in charge. And actually, that's why we call it Copilot. And our whole, AI strategy or Gen AI strategy is around Copilot, which is the concept that you, the human, are in charge. You ask for something, the system cannot provide you an answer, but you need to make a decision and actually decide whether that answer is good or not good. So that's why it's really important to be able to ask the right questions, which is, I think, in this new age is really important, but also being able to evaluate the decisions. We're not going to get near replacement in the foreseeable future, which is the human part of that. The curiosity, the creativity, the empathy, the caring for the humans, the human touch, basically. It's not something that you can replace or doing some automation that's going to be doing that for you.
What kind of actions do you recommend for people to start adopting AI?
So how you provide the resources so your team is going to be able to adopt Gen AI, really important. But then is how you have a strategy, and I don't want to call it AI strategy because at the end of the day it's how AI will help you to achieve your business needs, your business objectives. It's like probably 20 years ago, or 20, 25 years ago, or 30 years ago, no one would say, hey, what's your internet strategy? Or maybe some people did at the time, but it's about how the internet is going to help you to sell more, to connect with your customers, to connect with your partners. So in the same way with AI, you need to see how AI is going to help you with your customers, with your employees, with your operations, or how you actually create products or services. I think you need to have that clear, and then move fast from a proof of concept all the way to full-fledged adoption, and learn. I think it's all about learning and experimenting.
You have done an impressive career being the general manager for Microsoft in Chile, the past and former president of the Chilean American Chamber of Commerce, and also been promoting a lot of initiatives in women in STEM. Together we completed the general management program in Harvard. So what kind of decisions have you made to shape your career?
Probably I think it comes down to three things. The first is that when I look back, every time that I was presented to a new opportunity, probably I would decide to take that opportunity if I feel that there was a big possibility of failing and actually maybe even get fired. I mean, if I don't feel that in every role, I tend to pass because I think that probably it's going to be too close to what I'm doing right now. So I try to actually refrain from feeling too comfortable. And actually the same thing happens with every role. If I feel that, hey, this is so comfortable, it's so calm, for me that's an alarm that I need to probably move to a different role or to a next step. So that's one. So embracing that feeling in your gut when you feel like, this might be too much for me, just go ahead. I mean, worst case scenario, you're gonna get fired, which is something that no one likes, but you're gonna learn anyway. You're gonna learn a lot by being successful, or by not, but you're gonna have a lot of learning, and that's gonna help you for the next role as well. So I think that's probably number one. Number two is keep learning. It's not like these days like you went to university, you got your MBA or your degree, and then you can stop learning. In every role, in every profession, you need to be up to date with the latest trends. We live in a global world, so basically your competitors are worldwide, so you need to spend a part of your day thinking about the future, what's going on. You cannot be like the ostrich that you can hide your head down the earth. You need to be learning, you need to be listening all the time. So keeping some time aside for that, which I know which is difficult. It's easier to say than to actually do it, but you need to do that. And lastly, I think it's about when you take a new position or when you're faced with a new challenge, first understand what's the underlying issue, and then spend time fixing that. Sometimes, especially in the corporate world, it's easier. It's very tempting just to fix the short term, because a lot of people think, hey, I'm gonna be here in this role for 3 years and then I'm gonna move on. So why would I invest so much time into fixing the underlying issue? But I think that that's the most important thing, because A, you're doing the right stuff, right? What you were hired for, fix the issues. And two, you start creating a legacy, because then again, you're gonna be the person who fixed that, or your team who fixed that. So in every position that you take is gonna be the same you're gonna have the same reputation. So at the end of the day, that starts building up.
Sergio, has been a pleasure. Thank you for sharing your insights and your career and what you have done in Microsoft and how Gen AI is changing the world.
No, thank you, Bernie, for having me. I really love the conversation and the questions and talking about Gen AI, which is really shaping the workplace. So thank you again for having me and looking forward for our next conversation.
Great.